In the blink of an eye. 300 years passed. Hanju had newly learned 50 chaotic fiend celestial Dharma idols. It took longer than before, mainly because the power of the fiend celestials conflicted with each other. The new fiend celestial Dharma idols were respectively the sheltered rainbow fiend celestial, the little fiend celestial, the uninjured fiend celestial, the heavenly square fiend celestial, the intentless fiend celestial, the soul sovereign fiend celestial, the poverty fiend celestial, the Tao gathering fiend celestial, the fog fiend celestial, the terror fiend celestial, the great affection fiend celestial, the great essence fiend celestial, the twisted fiend celestial, the eternal night fiend celestial, the primordial martial fiend celestial, the race fiend celestial, the degree fiend celestial, the avatar fiend celestial, the ultimate sorrow fiend celestial, the spirit ruler fiend celestial, the soul firmament fiend celestial, the connate loose fiend celestial, the rotten fiend celestial, the mutual longing fiend celestial, the skeleton bone fiend celestial, the golden tablet fiend celestial, and the ethereal fiend celestial. Most of these fiend celestial powers were a little special. For example, the strongest fiend celestial was not the strongest fiend celestial. This was a power that pursued the strongest great Tao. Once used, one's strength would increase greatly and one would be instilled with the belief to pursue being the strongest. The stronger the opponent defeated, the stronger the great Tao power. To Hanju, this was not very good. He would easily lose his mind. He wouldn't use it unless he was desperate. The uninjured fiend celestial was an absolutely defensive great Tao that couldn't be harmed. It needed an even stronger great Tao power to kill it in one strike. The ultimate sorrow fiend celestial had an extremely strong emotional resonance. It could absorb the sorrow of all living beings to make itself stronger. The loose gatherer fiend celestial could condense all true existences and also disband them into extremely tiny fragments. The 10,000 creation fiend celestial was like the Fusang tree. Its body grew 10,000 branches that could create a world and connect to an existing world. As long as the world he created existed, he wouldn't die. Wait. Hanju began the simulation trial and adapted to the new power of the fiend celestials. After 10 years, he finally ended in satisfaction. At this moment, Sect Master Tianju was still in the primordial heavenly prison. Hanju looked at the immortal world. After the flame race failed, the immortal world returned to its previous state. Although all living beings cultivated harder, conflicts couldn't be avoided. For example, if the human race wanted to rise, they needed to expand their territory and increase their resources. However, the nearby races were all once demons. The blood feud between humans and demons was engraved in their blood. Therefore, the human race was surrounded and fell into deep trouble again. Li Daokong was still not powerful enough. After the flame race's calamity, all living beings understood one thing. Sages couldn't personally interfere in the immortal world. This fact subconsciously reduced their threat. Furthermore, with the various races joining forces, sages couldn't send mighty figures to capture them all in one go for the sake of the humans. It was not in line with the cultivation goal of the current heavenly Tao. Because of this, Hanyu fell into various battles. His cultivation level increased very quickly. Hanju didn't pay attention to the humans for too long. It was fine as long as Hanyu was fine. If Hanyu could lead the human race to prosperity, Hanju would change his opinion of him. He might even give him a huge opportunity to have the right to chase after his ancestor Han. 12. Hanju looked at the Holy Mother sect next. It had developed very well. He didn't know if it was because of Liao, but the number of female human disciples in the Holy Mother sect increased and had already surpassed the female disciples of other races. Ever since the establishment of the Holy Mother sect, they had been backed by the Jia school and had never encountered any trouble. Previously, when the flame race attacked, the battle had already ended when they had just arrived on the battlefield. Hanju looked at the reroll world below the immortal world. Although Hanju didn't care about the real world, the heavenly race, the Jia school, the divine palace, and the Holy Mother sect all helped it. They even sent disciples to stay and preach the Tao to mortals. In the netherworld, Su Qi had been cultivating in seclusion, but because of him, Yang Tiandong's status rose. The other kings of hell did not dare to offend him and followed him everywhere. Everything was fine. Hanju suddenly noticed someone, an old friend. Mo Ju. After all, Hanju had asked Mo Ju to stay. She insisted on leaving and wanted to make the Mo family famous. Time passed quickly. Mo Fuzhou had died and the Mo family was already in the past. The current Mo Ju had already changed her name. Her name was Ancestor Fanju, and she was hidden in a corner of the immortal world. Mo Ju was already at the deity realm, all thanks to the human school's Tao technique. Seeing Mo Ju, Hanju couldn't help but recall the years in the mortal world. He sighed. Not long ago, he was still looking forward to the immortal realm. Hanju sighed and entered cultivation again. 500 years later, primordial heavenly prison has successfully enslaved the target. Sect Master Tianju has a favorable impression of you. Current favorability, max. Hanju immediately checked Sect Master Tianju's profile picture from his interpersonal relationships. Sect Master Tianju, late-stage heavenly Tao sage. Sect Master of Jia school, immeasurable emperor. His favorability towards you is at the maximum. Sect Master Tianju, who was meditating, opened his eyes and knelt down. Hanju smiled. There's no need to be so polite. Our relationship will still be the same in the future, at least on the surface. Go back. If others ask, you know what to do. Sect Master Tianju said respectfully, I understand. Hanju waved his hand and sent him to the 33rd heaven. Sect Master Tianju followed his memories and came to his Tao field. At this moment, the South Extreme Heavenly Venerate appeared and followed him into the hall. After the door closed, the South Extreme Heavenly Venerate asked curiously, why was Hanju looking for you? Sect Master Tianju replied, we chatted about the relationship between the Holy Mother sect and the Jia school. It can be considered an alliance. The South Extreme Heavenly Venerate clicked his tongue in wonder. That works too. It seems that the Chan school should also establish a relationship with the Holy Mother sect. Sure, the Heavenly Tao will take sides sooner or later. We have already severed ties with the deity realm of the ruins of End. Why don't you make an alliance with fellow Taoist Han? That's true. Tianju, I believe you. I'll go prepare now. Time passed. 1,000 years passed. Hanju opened his eyes and checked his emails. During this period of time, Heavenly Venerate Shendu left. He wanted to control the Earth immortal world and expand the providence of the Heavenly Tao. Ancestor Shitian also began to be active in the emails. He was basically attacked, but he was not severely injured for the time being. After looking around, the immortal world was safer than the chaos. The evil Heavenly Emperor and Han Tuo had been fighting almost the entire time. It was unknown who they were fighting with. After reading the emails, Hanju teleported to the second Tao field. Sweeping his sage sense out and observing the entire Earth immortal world, he caught Heavenly Venerate Shendu's aura at the edge of the Earth immortal world. Heavenly Venerate Shendu was casting a spell to gather the providence of the immortal world. Hanju didn't care. He looked at the fiend celestial candidates he had chosen. Yongdu, Rungang, and Yin Hongchen were still alive. As for the other fiend celestial candidates, they had long perished. Among them, Yangdu's cultivation was already infinitely close to the Emperor realm. Hanju discovered that there was some great Tao power hidden in Yangdu's body. This aura was extremely obvious to him, who had grasped the grand unity aspect. Hanju pinched his fingers to deduce, then his expression became strange. In the dream, him. At the same time, he understood something else. He could live longer than the Earth immortal world. I'm willing, Yongdu hurriedly said. 7 and Felb and C M for L test Vels. Hanju didn't say anything else. He directly broke through the dream and sucked Yongdu into the second Dao field. Landing in front of him, Yongdu was shocked. Hanju began to use absolute purification on him, just in case. Yongdu came back to his senses and hurriedly knelt down. He was secretly shocked. These 4 people were unfathomable. He had never felt such fear. At this moment, Murongchi opened his eyes and waved at him. Although they were very far apart, Yangdu could see his actions and immediately rushed over. I didn't expect Grandmaster's control to reach so far. He's not as secluded as he looks. Murongchi sighed. Hanju looked like he was not fighting for Providence, but he was actually secretly nurturing powerful forces with a heart as deep as the sea. Murongchi was not disgusted. Instead, he felt safer. Only by following such a grandmaster could everything go smoothly. On the contrary, he only had a powerful cultivation level but no shrewdness. He would suffer sooner or later. Murongchi chatted with Yangdu to get closer. Meanwhile, Hanju returned to the main Dao field. Li Xianao was kneeling at the entrance of the Daoist temple. Hanju let him in. Arriving in front of him, Li Xianao bowed respectfully and said, "All these years, the disciples of the hidden sect who went out have returned one after another. All the personal disciples have returned. Among the in-name disciples, 8,736 have yet to return. I've already informed them one by one, but they still haven't returned. I think we can announce that they have betrayed the hidden sect and also set up a special hidden sect law enforcement hall to capture these disobedient disciples. Although the hidden sect is a land of cultivation, rules are still necessary." Hanju said, "The law enforcement hall will be controlled by Zhou Mingwei. You will help him create it. The number of people will be fixed at 10,000. They must be at the deity realm. You can let the nether race also send a portion of their clansmen." Understood. The 10,000 nether race members had all returned. However, the nether race had currently encountered a bottleneck. All the clansmen were stuck at the 6th mystic divine origin realm and could not break through. It was as if a force was suppressing their cultivation realms. Hanju had been busy cultivating and didn't want the nether race to break through too quickly, so he didn't care. However, after so many years, the nether race couldn't hold back anymore, and the atmosphere in the clan was a little solemn. Hanju had no choice but to use the derivation function. "I want to know why the nether race can't reach the zenith heaven realm? 150 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? The value of a great Dao sage." Hanju directly made his choice. The nether race was a very powerful and important force to him. He had to support them. He was still looking forward to nurturing 10,000 pseudo-sages to wreak havoc in the chaos. Hanju entered the illusion. Opening his eyes, Hanju came to a dark hall. On both sides stood huge stone pillars carved with mysterious ferocious beasts. The surface of the stone pillars looked transparent and there was magma surging in them, causing the atmosphere in the hall to be eerie. At the top of the sky were rolling dark clouds. They were millions of feet tall, like a world. Hanju looked up and saw 10 huge stone statues in front of him. The stone statues were sinister and ruthless with different postures. In front of the 10 stone statues was a stone staircase that was millions of steps tall. At the top was an altar that floated high in the sky. On the altar, a burly man with a bare upper body was meditating. His black hair was wild and scattered casually. His muscles were visually impactful, like a human-shaped ferocious beast. A line of words appeared in front of Hanju. "Di Jiang, Great Dao Sage, leader of the ancestral Magi, immeasurable emperor, descendant of Pangu." Hanju was shocked. The ancestral magi were really alive? Then, these 10 stone statues should be the remaining 10 ancestral magi. Even Dijuan was still alive, so it was normal for Dijiang to be alive. In the legends of the primordial world that Hanju knew, the Magus race and the Demon race were the two strongest races in the world. In order to fight for supremacy, they stirred up the immeasurable calamity. Other than Empress Hutu, who had transformed into reincarnation, all the 12 ancestral magi perished with Dijuan and Eastern Emperor Tai. It was very tragic. Now it seemed that this history was not true. After all, Hanju had never experienced that history. Dijiang suddenly opened his eyes and muttered to himself, "Who is intercepting my Magus race bloodline?" Dijiang pinched his fingers to deduce, then his expression became strange. "Hutu!" Sigh. Forget it. Dijiang raised his hand to cast a spell. Seeing this, Hanju finally understood that Dijiang was restricting the nether race's cultivation realm. As for why, he didn't know. The dream shattered. After returning to reality, Hanju touched his chin and thought. The best way to resolve this matter was to kill Dijiang. However, Dijiang had no grudge with him. He naturally wouldn't do such an immoral thing. Forget it, I'll wait a little longer. In any case, Dijiang was contacting Empress Hutu. When the two of them met and he explained the matter, they should be able to remove the cultivation restrictions of the nether race. Hanju became even more emotional. This pressure on the bloodline of the later generations was like a cultivator controlled by the Great Tao. Not bad. In any case, he would surpass the Great Tao Sage sooner or later. One day, the Great Tao Sage would also be like a chicken or dog in front of him. He could be killed with ease. Immortal World, Human Imperial City. In a residence, Hanyu was meditating in the courtyard and cultivating. He was dressed in a white robe, still exuding a youth aura. He looked calm and imposing, and his face had the vicissitudes of time. A figure suddenly appeared in front of him. It was Hanju's disciple, Long Hao. Long Hao was handsome and looked like the evil heavenly emperor. He stood with Hanyu as if Hanju was facing him. Hanyu sensed his appearance and asked without opening his eyes, "What is it?" Long Hao chuckled. "I'm preparing to attack the Dragon Palace. Do you want to join forces? When I control the Dragon Palace, you can choose their divine weapons. You should know that the dragon race likes to collect treasures. Your master has to kowtow in front of him." "Impossible!" Hanyu said angrily as if he was humiliated. In his heart, Li Daokong was an indomitable mighty figure. He was the most arrogant person in the entire heavenly Tao. Long Hao chuckled, feeling even happier. Stupid kid. He deduced that Hanyu was Hanju's descendant, but he didn't say it. Hanyu looked so similar to Hanju. He was definitely related, that's why he had been taken in by Li Daokong. Li Daokong didn't even tell him the truth. He naturally didn't dare to interfere, lest he ruined Hanju's plan. "All right, I'm serious. Come with me. I need you," Long Hao said solemnly. Hanyu was not weak. He had inherited Li Daokong's legacy and rarely encountered opponents of the same realm. After the Heavenly Tao restarted, Long Hao's previous dragon court had long perished. There were even fewer old friends. He had previously visited some old friends, and all of them wanted to sever ties with him and were unwilling to follow him. It almost infuriated him. Helpless, he could only look for Hanyu. Long Hao said, "You can tell the human emperor about this. The human race is currently in a dilemma. If you want to make a name for yourself, you have to take the risk. Once I control the dragon race, I can help the human race. I have the bloodline of the true dragon race and am a Zenith Heaven Golden Immortal. The 4 Sea Dragon Kings are not my match, but I'm weak. I need your help to restrain the dragon race's useless troops." Of course, this was just empty talk. He wanted to prove his connections to the dragon race. Han said, "I'll go find the human emperor." He remembered that Li Daokong was also from the hidden sect. Then, he thought of Long Hao's words. Was this fellow really not bragging? Could Li Daokong really have to bow down to his master? Li Daokong was a cultivator of the hidden sect. The sect master of the hidden sect was the high and mighty immeasurable merit divine might heavenly sage. Human emperor said excitedly, "Thank you for the opportunity the hidden sect has given us. We humans are willing to help you subdue the dragon race." Long Hao smiled. "In that case, go get ready. We'll leave at any time." "All right." The human emperor and the mighty figures immediately left. They were clearly very excited, thinking that they had boarded the hidden sect's bus. After they left, Han Yu frowned and asked, "The hidden sect has taken a liking to the humans?" If that was the case, Li Daokong would definitely give him an order, but he did not. He suspected that Long Hao was bluffing. However, it had to be said that the banner of the hidden sect was too attractive. The hidden sect had many branches. They went from the heavenly race to the nine nether. If they could obtain their protection, the human race would be safe. Long Hao smiled. "Don't worry, I won't trick you." Han Yu looked at him deeply. "Your master is the master of the hidden sect?" Then, what's my master's identity in the hidden sect? First guardian. My master is really powerful. Hee hee. You're not convinced? I'll tell my master. No, I'm convinced. I'm most convinced by Li Daokong. 1,000 years later, Hanju opened his eyes again and checked his emails habitually. Your good friend Evil Heavenly Emperor was attacked by a mysterious Dao Devil, X892048. Your son Han Tuo was attacked by an inauspicious evil, X10928327. Your disciple Yang Tiandong was cursed by a mysterious curse. Your good friend ancestor Shitian was attacked by a mysterious mighty figure. Your grand disciple Fang Liang dreamed of the Dao ancestor when he was cultivating. His cultivation has increased greatly. Your disciple Zhou Fan obtained the dream of your enemy, 7 Dao Sage, and left the heavenly Dao. Your good friend Empress Hutu was attacked by a mysterious force and was severely injured. Han Tuo was beaten up along with the evil heavenly emperor? Hanju's heart didn't ache. He even wanted to laugh. He thought of the previous calamity and often saw the immortals of the heavenly court being beaten. Needless to say, it was quite interesting. He believed that the evil heavenly emperor would treat Han Tuo well. After all, he had deduced the future. But why did Zhou Fen leave the heavenly Dao? As for Empress Hutu, she was severely injured in the netherworld? Hanju continued reading. After a while, he finished reading the emails and first visited Zhou Fan in his dreams. Zhou Fan was his highly regarded disciple. He couldn't ignore him. He had to at least put on a show for the 7 Dao Sage. In the dream, Zhou Fan suddenly opened his eyes and looked around in horror. Hanju asked, "What's wrong?" Zhou Fan saw that it was him and hurriedly said, "Master, don't visit my dreams. I'm fighting." Hanju immediately extinguished the dark nightmare and checked the emails. Your disciple Zhou Fan was attacked by an inauspicious evil and was severely injured. Your disciple Zhou Fan was attacked by an inauspicious evil. His body was destroyed and his soul was about to disperse. Your disciple Zhou Fan was protected by your enemy, 7 Dao Sage. His injuries have healed and he has revived again. Hanju looked at the 3 emails that appeared one after another and couldn't help but be silent. Oops. It seemed that he had to be more cautious next time. The Dark Nightmare was a great Dao mystical power that could forcefully drag people into a dream, but the other party might die if they were in battle. That was true. Hanju suddenly thought of something and his eyes lit up. He smiled sinisterly. He could use this to deal with enemies in the future. Hanju stopped thinking and sent a dream to Empress Hutu. The dream was the Yellow Spring. Hanju asked first, "Are you fighting?" Empress Hutu was stunned. "No, why do you ask?" Hanju said, "I sent a dream to my disciple just now. He was fighting and almost died because of it." Empress Hutu. Hanju remained silent. Empress Hutu was attacked by a mysterious force. The sages did not react, which meant that this matter was very hidden. How should he ask? "I was injured not long ago. A mysterious existence is spying on the netherworld." Empress Hutu suddenly sighed. She continued, "I don't know who the other party is, but his power is very strong and can counteract my power of reincarnation. He's at least a freedom sage. Otherwise, he won't be able to enter the netherworld." Hanju said in surprise, "A freedom sage shouldn't be able to break through the power of the heavenly Tao, right?" Empress Hutu said, "Perhaps he used some secret technique. His strength is indeed stronger than a heavenly Tao sage, but he's not much stronger. Furthermore, I sense a familiar aura from him, but I can't remember from where." She was a sage of reincarnation. How could she not remember this? The other party must have erased karma, preventing Empress Hutu from deducing. Hanju asked in his mind, "I want to know who attacked Empress Hutu?" For the sake of others, Hanju really didn't want to waste his lifespan. However, if the netherworld was broken, the heavenly Tao would be in danger. 100 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. A line of words appeared in front of him. Fuxishan, Great Tao Sage, Ancestor of the human race, Immeasurable Emperor, Ancestor of the 8 trigrams. Fuxishan. Hanju frowned. This was cheating. Hanju said, "I have to tell the other sages about this. If you can't ask, I'll go." Empress Hutu said, "Thank you." The dream ended. Hanju directly came to the 33rd heaven and gathered the other sages in Sect Master Tianju's Tao field. He told them about Empress Hutu being attacked. The sages were shocked. The South Extreme Heavenly Venerate said in surprise, "Why can't we sense it?" Heavenly Venerate Wufa snorted. "Needless to say, the other party is far stronger than us. He can even avoid the heavenly secrets." The sages were silent. Fang Liang said, "No, if the other party attacks in the heavenly Tao, it's impossible for him to avoid the power of the heavenly Tao unless he's a heavenly Tao life form. In addition, the netherworld is the lowest level of the heavenly Tao." Heavenly Tao life form? Could it be Heavenly Venerate Shendu? "Only he's far stronger than us," the South Extreme Heavenly Venerate added. Hanju glanced at him. "You really know how to guess." Hanju had no choice but to say, "It shouldn't be Heavenly Venerate Shendu. I've been contacting him. By the way, did the sages who died previously really die?" Fuxishan. Fang Liang pinched his fingers to deduce and his eyes flickered. Sect Master Tianju said in confusion, "Isn't Fuxishan the weakest heavenly Tao sage? How can he be far stronger than us? Even if he obtained a huge opportunity during this period of time, it's impossible for his strength to increase so quickly. Fellow Taoist Han isn't even this fast." The others also discussed. "It's indeed impossible. It's not Fuxishan. Could it be Nuwa? Empress Nuwa is indeed unfathomable. Previously, when we killed her, I felt that it was too easy. Could it be that Nuwa didn't die?" "That's right, it's her. After she died, her primordial purple chi couldn't be found at all. Doesn't this mean something? What should we do? Should we find Nuwa?" Seeing that they found out the truth, Hanju was satisfied. Fang Liang said, "It's impossible to find her. The other party attacked Empress Hutu and must be targeting the heavenly Tao. We can only increase our defense against the netherworld. The south extreme heavenly venerate asked, "How? We sages can't go. But if a pseudo-sage goes, they will be cannon fodder. I have a plan, which is to increase the number of mortal worlds between the netherworld and the immortal world, causing the providence of the heavenly Tao to protect the netherworld. The stronger the power of the heavenly Tao in the netherworld, the harder it is for the enemy to invade." Fang Liang's plan made the sages ponder. However, nurturing mortal worlds was not something that could be done in a short period of time. Emperor Shao suddenly said, "It's fine to nurture the mortal worlds, but I think the most effective way is to move the heavenly race to the netherworld. After all, the heavenly race is a heavenly Tao race." The sages looked at him in surprise. If the heavenly race moved to the netherworld, they would definitely lose control of the immortal world. Then, who could inherit the authority of the heavenly race? They couldn't help but look at Fang Liang. Were they colluding? Hanju was expressionless and didn't feel that there was anything wrong. In fact, this was indeed the best way to increase the power of the heavenly Tao in the netherworld. Fang Liang could only say that he took advantage of the situation. He wasn't afraid that Fang Liang would act recklessly. If he showed any signs of messing around, he would directly throw him into the primordial heavenly prison. The other sages naturally had no objections. Hanju didn't participate in the rest. He returned to the 100-peak immortal river and continued cultivating. The sages moved very quickly. In less than a few months, they sent their highly regarded disciples to the bottom of the immortal world to approach the netherworld and open up a world. Although the two worlds of yin and yang were opposites, there was also a threshold. In addition, the heavenly race also began to move to the netherworld. Facing the arrangements of the sages, Ji Xianshan appeared very obedient and did not even question them. The day Fang Liang became a sage, he knew that he had lost. On the other side, the humans had attacked the dragon race many times and had been in a stalemate for hundreds of years. Finally, it ended. The dragon race had a new leader. It was Long Hao. At the same time, the two races shook hands and formed an alliance. The dragon race was a first-rate race with deep foundations, but they were actually defeated by the humans? The living beings who knew the inside story were shocked by the terrifying strength of the hidden sect. At first, the humans were not the dragon race's match at all. They even suffered heavy casualties because of this. Long Hao had no choice but to seek the help of the Holy Mother sect. Once the Holy Mother sect attacked, the heavenly race, the Chan school, and the Jia school also struck. Before they even fought, the dragon race couldn't withstand the pressure and raised the white flag. A sage could decide the authority of the heavenly Tao's myriad worlds with a few words. They didn't even need to threaten with force. Time flew. Another 1,000 years passed. Hanju opened his eyes and habitually checked his emails. TSK, was Fang Liang already equivalent to the heavenly Tao? Continue. No! 10 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? Continue. However, this was only Fang Liang. Hanju couldn't deduce the Tao ancestors' true intentions. Hanju looked at the netherworld. Ever since the heavenly race moved to the netherworld, a large amount of the heavenly Tao's providence surged there, causing it to no longer be covered in dark clouds. Sunlight even appeared. The light formed by providence and the power of reincarnation increased, causing the order of the netherworld to also recover. The ghost deities also benefited. Only the immortals of the heavenly race were unhappy. Only their benefits were damaged. In short, everything was developing in a good direction. Hanju's gaze passed through the netherworld and spied the dark forbidden zone outside. Huh? He suddenly saw something. It was a stone tablet with a coffin behind it. There were all sorts of strange patterns carved on the coffin as if ghosts were about to rush out at any moment. Seeing this coffin, Hanju felt inexplicably terrified. He couldn't sense the aura of the coffin and the stone tablet at all. If he didn't see them coincidentally, he would probably take a long time to discover them. Hanju pinched his fingers to deduce. He couldn't deduce the origin of this coffin. He had no choice but to use the derivation function. 200 billion years of lifespan will be deducted. Do you want to continue? So expensive? It was even more valuable than the ancestor. Hanju was even more nervous and carefully chose to continue. Hanju widened his eyes. So other than him, there was really a primordial fiend celestial. Was the Tao ancestor not targeting him? This thing was a little strong. He was Panga's last opponent. It was equivalent to being second only to Panga among the 3,000 fiend celestials. Hanju had to ask cautiously, when will he enter the heavenly Tao?